Rover is becoming the most wanted unit amongst many characters, and that may be an issue going forward. She is wanted by Zani and Phoebe, and now she is required for Ciaccona, and yes, even Cartethyia. Cartethyia is the premium Aero Erosion resonator, and her kit is impressive as long as you have Aero Erosion on the enemy. There are major issues with Aero Erosion, and it's the fact that its damage increase is based on the total number of stacks that are inflicted. You start off with 3, and thanks to the main MC Rover, that stack goes from 3 to 6, which is essentially doubling your Aero Erosion damage. Not only does it double the Aero Erosion damage on the enemy, but it greatly boosts the power of Cartethyia's world-cleaving slash. Does that mean that Cartethyia is useless without Aero Rover? Just how much power are we losing by not using a rover with her? Well, my name is VoidEnigma, and I aim to answer that question. We'll be talking about Aero Erosion and its reliance on Aero Rover, and how it will affect the future of characters regarding Aero Erosion. Make sure to like the video if you're enjoying the content, and subscribe, and now let's cut the void and discuss Aero Erosion's problem. Unlike Spectral Frazzle, Erosion requires high stacks to deal any damage. 3 stacks get you 3k damage, while 6 stacks get you 8k damage. Pretty sizable jump. Ciaccona also doubles that damage, by the way, so we can go all the way up to 16k per stack. Not only is the damage over time more than doubled thanks to Aero Rover, but Cartethyia gains so much power from Aero Rover it's insane. Or rather, FLuoRiTeMoonlit does. FLuoRiTeMoonlit speeds up the damage and ticks of the dot of Aero Erosion and cutting it in half, and causing more Aero Erosion ticks. FLuoRiTeMoonlit will also trigger some erosion ticks during her liberation while she's doing her basic attacks, and Cartethyia's entire kit is amplified based on the total stacks of Aero Erosion. And lastly, when she detonates her liberation, she cuts that stack as well as increasing the damage based on the total number of stacks on the enemy. So essentially, we have a character that gets double the damage if she has double the stacks, and that's a massive difference. For that reason, Aero Rover is essentially tied to Cartethyia, at least at S0. I don't know about further sequences, but we'll figure that out later. If you don't run her with a rover in any endgame content, you will literally be doing half the maximum damage that you could do. And that in itself is a tough pill to swallow. Kuro Games has designed a free character that is a staple to a premium unit, which is both a good and a bad thing. Firstly, you can't complain that you don't have a character because you literally do, and if you choose not to use them, then you're purposely nerfing yourself for Cartethyia. This is great because FLuoRiTeMoonlit's best partner is always available. No need to really pull a premium unit, although Ciaccona is equally as valuable, to be honest. It's bad that you can only use a rover, which a lot of people won't like. To be honest, I hate Aero Rover's kit. Surprising, I know. Her resonance skill gives 40% of the bar for some mysterious reason, which is just a point of frustration that knows no bounds. And their interruption resistance is absolutely horrendous. There are ways to alleviate both of these issues, but still. Not everyone wants to use a rover with Cartethyia. It's not really synergy at this point, it's dependency disguised as a design. Another downside is other versions of Rover, a Zani team reliant on Spectrover for example, is alienated if you actually use them on the same run in a mode like Wuthering Waves. This wave of negative statuses are not what I want from Kuro Games. These characters are amazing and fun to play, but I like Wuthering Waves for its versatility and team building. This is another topic for another video, which is in the works by the way, so stay tuned for that one. So, how do we fix the issue? Without a rover, that is. Well, there's not a whole lot that you can actually do. Without a rover, you're cutting Cartethyia's damage in half, you cut your erosion stacks in half, so you need to supplement that damage loss, and no amount of investment in another character is going to even come close to doubling Cartethyia's damage again. Ciaccona is the second best partner for Cartethyia, and she is more readily available to help clear content with Cartethyia. Without the 6 stacks of erosion, she will still be slightly scuffed, but it's at least suitable. She buffs Cartethyia's damage by so much that you can actually kind of clear content with this team. You can use other big buffers like Shorekeeper and Marina alongside these two and still do decent numbers. Without both Ciaccona and a rover, yeah, Cartethyia just is not for you in that case, honestly. She will need at least one or the other to function, and with both, she's excellent. No way around it, unfortunately. Wuthering Waves needs to utilize 4 stars better. I mean, come on, we haven't had a 4-star in so long. We could have had a 4-star that inflicts the same amount of erosion as Ciaccona, but just not have that high of a damage amp to erosion as Ciaccona does, with their outro at least. I know they won't duplicate Aero Rover's ability, but maybe we can have another 4-star that increases the stack by at least 1, maybe 2. And I'm just getting mildly annoyed at the lack of releasing 4-star characters that can supplement a character's kit. Zani and Cartethyia need it, so please go to the feedback and let them know, because this is getting a little ridiculous and I don't like the approach that we're going from here on. At the end of the day though, everybody has Aero Rover, so it's not the end of the world. You will just have to use her with Cartethyia. But what are your thoughts though? Are you fine with Aero Rover being Cartethyia's slave, or do you think that she deserves a more diverse option? Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. If you made it this far, you gotta be enjoying the video, right? So subscribing is the least you can do, right? Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, and until next time, Enigma out.